Imagine it's 1519. The world map is full of blank spaces. And the idea of sailing all the way around the planet is pure fantasy, a madman's dream. Yet, one man, a Portuguese navigator named Ferdinand Magellan, convinced the King of Spain to fund the impossible. His mission, to find a westward route to the Spice Islands, the legendary source of nutmeg and cloves, which were worth more than gold. This wasn't just a trade mission. It was a shot at immortality, a voyage that would forever change our understanding of the planet. On September 20th, 1519, 5 ships, the Trinidad, San Antonio, Concepcion, Victoria, and Santiago, departed from Spain with about 270 men. Magellan, sailing under the Spanish flag after a fallout with his native Portugal, was a brilliant but stern commander. His crew was a mix of nationalities, many skeptical of their foreign captain and the perilous journey ahead. Their first major stop was South America. They sailed down the coast, searching for a rumored strait, a passage that would connect the Atlantic to the unknown ocean on the other side. Weeks turned into months. The weather grew colder, rations dwindled, and tensions boiled over. At Port St. Julian, in modern-day Argentina, the frustration erupted into a full-blown mutiny. 3 of his 5 captains turned against him. Magellan acted swiftly and brutally. He had 1 captain executed and another marooned, left to die on the desolate coast. His message was clear. There was no turning back. Pressing southward, they finally found it, a treacherous winding waterway that we now call the Strait of Magellan. It took them 38 agonizing days to navigate its stormy, confusing channels. 1 ship, the Santiago, was wrecked in a storm, and another, the San Antonio, deserted, its crew turning back for Spain, taking with it a huge portion of their supplies. When Magellan and his remaining 3 ships finally emerged from the strait, they were greeted by a vast, calm body of water. It was so peaceful compared to the violent Atlantic that he named it the Mar Pacifico, the Pacific Ocean. But this peace was deceptive. Magellan had grossly underestimated its size. He thought it would take a few days to cross. It took Those 99 days were a living nightmare. Food ran out completely. The men ate sawdust, leather from the ship's rigging, and rats, which they bought from each other for a fortune. Scurvy, a horrific disease caused by a lack of vitamin C, ravaged the crew. Their gums swelled over their teeth, their joints ached, and old wounds reopened. At least 19 men died from starvation and disease before they finally sighted land. In March 1521, they stumbled upon the island of Guam, and soon after, the Philippines. Here, they found fresh food, water, and a chance to recover. Magellan, using an enslaved interpreter named Enrique, who he'd acquired years earlier, found he could communicate with the locals. This was a monumental moment. Enrique was from that part of the world, and by traveling west with Magellan, he had effectively become the first person to circumnavigate the globe, even if in 2 separate journeys. But Magellan's success bred overconfidence. He got involved in a local tribal conflict, convinced that a small force of well-armed Europeans could easily defeat the native warriors of Chief Lapu-Lapu on the island of Mactan. He was disastrously wrong. On April 27, 1521, Ferdinand Magellan was killed in the battle, struck down on a beach halfway around the world from where he started. The leader of the greatest voyage in history would not complete it. The expedition was now in shambles. Leaderless, and with too few men to sail 3 ships, they burned the Concepcion. The remaining 2 ships, Trinidad and Victoria, finally reached the Spice Islands, their original goal. They loaded up on precious cloves, but their journey was far from over. The Trinidad tried to return by sailing back across the Pacific, an impossible task, and was eventually captured by the Portuguese. That left only 1 ship, the Victoria, under the command of a new captain, Juan Sebastián Elcano. He made a daring choice. Instead of risking the Pacific again, he would continue west, sailing across the Indian Ocean and around Africa, a route controlled by the hostile Portuguese. It was a desperate race against time, dodging enemy ships and battling starvation once more. On September 6, 1522, almost exactly 3 years after they departed, a ghost ship limped into a Spanish harbor. It was the Victoria. On board were just 18 skeletal survivors of the original 270-man crew. They had done it. They had sailed around the world. The impact was immediate and profound. They had proven, without a shadow of a doubt, that the Earth was a sphere. They had revealed the true, immense scale of the Pacific Ocean, which covered 1/3 of the globe. Their journey redrew the map of the world, connected oceans, and ushered in a new era of global interaction. Though Magellan didn't survive, his vision and iron will set it all in motion, and it was Juan Sebastián Elcano and his handful of survivors who, against all odds, completed that first, incredible circle. Their voyage wasn't just a journey of distance. It was a journey that expanded the very limits of human knowledge and endurance, a story of ambition, mutiny, suffering, and ultimate triumph that is forever etched into the history of our world. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey as fascinating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more 10-minute dives into history. And hey, speaking of history, our channel is looking for volunteers to help us create more content just like this. If you're passionate about research, writing, map making, or video editing, we'd love to have you on our crew. Check the description below for details on how you can join our team and help us bring the past to life. Let's discover history together.